Hey, friend, welcome to Creative Coffee Chat. I'm Dana with Imagination Paint, aka Paint and Purpose. And I want you to just grab whatever you're sipping on, pull up a chair, and let's just create together and just kind of talk about what God's been stirring in your heart this week. Today we are going to talk about how you do not need a platform to have kingdom impact. So, I want to ask you a question. When you hear the word ministry, what comes to mind? What do you think about? What do you picture in your head? Because most people probably think about, pastors or speakers or big churches, someone talking on stage. And while those are all great examples, a lot of ministry happens in much smaller places. And so, for example, I have been doing my paint and praise experiences lately. So, women painting together. Ministry can absolutely happen in that type of setting. Someone opening up about their life, sharing their story or their testimony. That is also ministry. Praying together with somebody, or just encouraging someone who is, going through a hard season right now. All of those are great examples of ministry. And so I want you to think about like how a creative space can allow people to relax and to open up. And sometimes the most powerful ministry happens around a table, whether it's in your kitchen, whether it's in your church hall, or just, anywhere. It can happen around a table and not on a stage, which is so cool. I love being able to do this as a ministry. And I want you to ask yourself, like, what is it about those times, like when you get together with those people around the table, or if you're like painting with a friend or something, like, what is it about being creative and just having that opportunity to relax and just kind of clear your mind from everything that's going on around you, all the busy stuff, and just being able to sit there and like create and talk and open up and just turning it into a conversation. And that can be ministry. And so I want you to ask yourself, have you ever experienced encouragement in a small group setting? Because you actually have potential to reach people in a way in those settings that you maybe never would have been able to, like at a pulpit. And so you're kind of meeting them right where they're at, instead of, some, like if you invite some people to church, sometimes they're like, I don't want to go to church. Like they might have had a bad experience with church. Church hurt is a real thing, unfortunately. And so sometimes just people don't want to like have anything to do with going to a church. But you might be able to get them to come to a paint party, a paint and praise event, something like that. And so you're meeting them right there where they're at in the middle of their real life. And the creative environment is just an added bonus. It's fun, it's relaxing, but it's also therapeutic. And it's always been like what's helped me to heal personally. And so it can help people feel better and to heal. And it opens the doors for conversation. Whereas listening to somebody speak on stage doesn't usually offer that type of atmosphere. So the intimate environment this offers, it can definitely create such a huge impact. And so I want to share a little bit about how I've actually seen this firsthand, like people who have come to our paint parties. We, are right in the middle of painting, and like it's so cool because like with my parties, how I've been able to figure out how to like turn this into ministry. I have a message that goes along with my designs. And so like we might be talking about being fearfully and wonderfully made. And that's kind of the thing that got all of this started, because like the Lord gave me this message and like helped me to envision this message with like painting. And he's like, the words you don't, that you see, like that you're writing down, like these don't matter. And it's so cool because like you can turn it into this whole experience, and like people open up and they're reflecting on like what are some things that's happened to me in my life, maybe that I've held on to for such a long time and I've had a hard time letting it go. And think about all the years that there's something inside of you that you've maybe held on to for such a long time, and it's just been sitting in there and dwelling in you, and it's like it just sits there. And then you go to a thing like this, and you all of a sudden have this opportunity to just release it, to say it out loud. Sometimes like just speaking something out loud can be the most healing thing. And so that's what's so cool about these types of events, is you don't have to have this big, huge social media following. You don't have to have some big platform or a stage or be super well known to make a difference for the kingdom of God. You can go out into your community and you can reach people right there in your backyard. You don't have to have this big thing. Like, followers are great. That's nice. Like, fine. But Jesus can use you whether you've got one person or whether you have 1,000. Okay. So don't feel like to go out and minister to somebody and to share your story and to share what God has done in your life. You don't have to have this huge following online or social media or even in person. It doesn't have to look like this big thing. It's just go out and share with the ones that God is bringing you in that moment. Even if it's just one person, the Bible talks about how he leaves for one. He leaves the flock just to go find the one. And, that's kind of the mentality that we have to have. It might just be for one person, but are we willing to go and be disciples for Jesus for that one person? Like, we need to shift our mindset on that, because sometimes like it's easy, especially as a business owner, you get caught up on numbers, which, running a business, you have to think about numbers. But from a ministry perspective, you don't want to like cancel out on one person. You know what I'm saying? Like, go and cater to that one. He's bringing you one for a reason. And so don't get caught up in the mindset of numbers and followers and likes and all of that. The other thing I want to tell you is, when you are thinking about that, especially with being influential online, there's always people watching that don't respond. They don't comment. They don't react. So you never really truly know how many people you're reaching. So when you show up for God, you want to show up like you're showing up for the entire world. You are speaking to one person with the knowledge that many others could see it. So you really don't know the capability of your impact that you have just by getting on and showing up faithfully, despite whether the numbers are there or not. So I always want to just encourage you, show up, because you don't know who's going to be watching, who you can reach for Jesus, and the kind of impact that it could leave on their life. So yeah, with that being said, my paint parties that I'm doing, y'all, it is the most amazing thing to experience when somebody comes to your party and you can literally see like the weight that they're carrying and on their shoulders. And then by the end of the night, they have like let certain things go. And they're like, I want to rededicate my life to Jesus. I want to accept Jesus for the first time. That is an incredible feeling, knowing that you helped play a part in that. And so by showing up and being obedient and just doing those things, like to be creating those spaces for people to come and to be able to share and release things in a safe environment, that is so important. And you really can't push something like that to the side just because you're scared. If you're scared of things like moving into ministry and you don't know exactly like, how is this going to come together? What is this supposed to look like? Am I qualified for this? Like, I'm not perfect. I don't know what I'm doing. Stop listening to that, because that is the enemy trying to keep you from stepping into your purpose. God doesn't care about those things. He just wants you to take action. He just needs you to move for him. He will take care of the rest. So just be willing to move and say yes for him out of obedience, and let him bring the people to you that he wants to be in front of you. Let him give you the words to say as you are speaking for him on his behalf to others. It's so cool to have already had just a handful of these praise painting events and had multiple people give their life back to Jesus because of it. And I can't tell you how good it feels just knowing that I get to be play a part in that. And I want everybody to be able to experience that. And so just having the space to bring people together, and again, just speaking things out loud. Like, for example, we just did a pain and praise last week. And it was so cool because like the girls that have been coming, a lot of them have been coming repeatedly over the last few months. And it's almost like we're having like a little family, forming out of all of this. It's so cool. And we just have gotten to know each other better and better every single time that we get together. And we share and we encourage each other. And sometimes just speaking that thing that you've been holding on to out loud is just so freeing. And we just need that safe, judgment-free space to say it out loud and to get it out. And you just don't know who might be there that can relate to your situation or your story. And it can help them too. And by the end of it, you're growing together, you're making new friendships, you're encouraging each other. And so I want you to imagine that you are the person leading this. I want you to envision yourself leaving your house, loading up your car with a bunch of paint supplies, some canvas, and all of these like really like all of these different things. Like you've got a speaker, you've got your phone with your playlist on it, your worship playlist, all of that stuff. Like you're taking it and you go set up and you're like, I don't know what to expect out of this. But I do expect God to show up. And so I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who he's bringing me. I don't know what's going on in their life right now, but I'm just going to come and I'm going to do my best and I'm going to show up for Jesus because that's what he asked me to do. And you do it. And everybody's painting and you're like going through the motions and sharing and asking questions and getting them to reflect on things. And, they start opening up and you're encouraging them as they paint and you're creating this safe space for them to come and to talk about the stuff that they've been holding on for too long. And all of a sudden they start sharing and, it might even get a little intense. People might start crying, but you can tell like through the tears that it is healing for them and that it is exactly what they needed that night in that moment to come and just have somebody else who can say like, I get what you're going through. I know what that's like. I've been there before. I feel your pain and it's hard, but you're going to get through this. Like sometimes that's all we need to hear. And you can help make that space. You can help make that happen. So you're the leader. You're leading your paint and praise. And then at the end of the night, you close with this message and you've shared your story and how God has helped you in your life and how he's helped to heal you and bring you out of some of the worst things that you've ever been through. And it reaches somebody. And then by the end of the night, you're opening up the floor and you say, God gives us all a chance to come back to him. We all have a second chance. And you can take that second chance tonight, whether it's for the first time or the second time or the 50th time. You can come back to him and you can open up the floor and let somebody make that decision if they want to come to Jesus for the first time or rededicate their life to him. And you give them the freedom and the chance to do that right there in that space, in that intimate setting with friends surrounding them. And it's not a pressured thing. It's let's like walk into this together kind of thing. And it feels so much more laid back and relaxed and no pressure. Like it's incredible. And by the end of the night, you leave and you have helped somebody say that prayer that they've been needing to say for the longest time. You help them come back to Jesus. You help them decide like, okay, I don't want to keep walking without him. I don't want to keep doing this on my own. I don't want to keep doing it my own way. You help them to see like his way is always better. Walking this with him is better. And you've helped to form that relationship. You've led them to that. You don't have to have a platform to have kingdom impact. It's not about having a ton of followers. It's not about having, all the likes. It's about being obedient to your calling and discipling the people that God is putting in your path. And so doing what you can do with the talents and the gifts that you have and using them to help the people that he puts in your path, that's what it's about. God uses ordinary spaces and ordinary people for extraordinary things. Think about all the people that he's used in scripture. None of them were perfect. They often were people that you'd probably look at and be like, he's using them. Yes, he's using them. So think about the people you see, like even now, you're probably looking like, why is he using them? Like, I can't even picture it, but it's so cool because it's like, if he can do that with them, he can do that with me too. He can do that with you too. If he can do it with me, he can do it with you. I'm one of those weird people. I'm like, why would he? Like, I would have never envisioned God trying to use me to do something like this. It's mind-blowing. It is mind-blowing. But he does. That's how he works because he picks the people that everybody would least expect so he can show off what he can do, his power, the things that he can do through us. We can't do this stuff on our own, but he can use us, but we have to be willing to let him use us. We have to make ourselves available to him, and we have to say yes, and we have to be willing to put forth the effort in the movement in order for him to be able to work. And so the question that I have for you is, are you willing to say yes to what he's asking you to do? And if you are, I want to share something special with you, because if you've ever wondered about, how to actually lead something like this, how do I lead my own paint and praise? I envision doing something like this. Maybe it's with your church group or a women's group. Maybe you want to do this as a business. Maybe you want to turn your current business into a creative ministry. Maybe this is just this amazing vision that you have for yourself, but you have no idea how to execute it. But you're like, man, I can see myself doing something like that, but I don't know where to start. I really would love somebody to show me. Well, I'm excited because I can actually help you do that. And I'm going to be teaching you exactly how to do that in my upcoming workshop. In my 3-day Kingdom Creative Workshop, I'm going to be showing you how to lead your own paint and praise experience and take your first step into creative ministry. And so I cannot wait. It's at the end of this month, and we've already got people joining and getting signed up, and it is exciting. And so on day 1 of the workshop, you're going to experience exactly how I lead my personal paint and praise nights. So you're going to get an inside look. You get to see from the perspective of the painter, and we're going to walk through an actual paint and praise experience together. It's going to be so fun. Then on day 2, we're going to talk about how to actually lead one and break down all the details. And then on day 3, we're going to talk all about your next steps, and you get to ask me all of your questions about creative ministry. And so that is going to be so cool. It's going to be amazing. And so if this resonates with you, I just want to personally invite you to come join me for the 3-day workshop. And you're going to get to come and just learn exactly how I'm doing this, because so many people have been asking, like, how are you doing these parties? How are people getting saved? Like, how is this a ministry? I'm going to show you. I'm going to answer those questions. I'm going to show you, and I'm excited to do it. I can't wait. God needs us to step up, y'all. He needs us to step up. He needs us to rise to the occasion. You as a Christian, you should feel a sense of urgency right now. You should feel a sense of urgency. Jesus is coming back soon, and he needs us. He needs us to rise up and to be bold for him and to help disciple people right now, because we're running out of time. And so if you have been given the gift of creativity, it's for a reason. And yes, you can use that as a ministry to help disciple other people and to bring people to Jesus. How blessed are we that we get to do that? That's what we get to do. It's so cool. It's so cool that he's like picking us to do it. He's choosing us. He's choosing you. You just got to say yes. And so if this resonates with you, I would love to have you to come and join me for this workshop. You can absolutely create an impact in your community alongside of me. And imagine like people from everywhere doing this, and we start seeing this explosion of people coming to Jesus because they came to a paint and praise event. Okay. How cool is that? And so if you would like to help make an impact in your community, if you would like to help make an impact for Jesus and build his kingdom alongside of me, then comment workshop, and I'm going to be sure to send you the link so that you can go on and get signed up and have plenty of time to get, everything prepared, all of your supplies, all of that stuff. And so I cannot wait. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so, so fun. And I'm expecting Jesus to show up. So come join us, learn how to lead your own paint and praise, step into creative ministry, and come help me do this thing, because you are needed. Okay. God needs you, and he needs your gifts, and the world needs your gifts. There's somebody out there who is waiting for you to say yes and to just step into it. They're waiting for you. They're waiting for your story. They're waiting to see, how has God helped this person? This is like the one person that can relate to me, that I can speak to, that can speak to me in a way that I need to hear Jesus. And somebody's waiting for you to come out and be that person. Don't keep them waiting. Say yes. Step into your purpose. Step into your creative ministry. and go out and help be a voice for Jesus, because we got lost sheep to find. We got to help him find them. Okay. I can't wait for the workshop. Thank you so much for joining me this morning for Creative Coffee Chat. And again, if you want the link for the workshop, comment workshop, and I'll make sure that you get the link. And I will see you next Monday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern. I hope you have a great week. Bye.